Welcome back to Driving with Friday. Still looking at creating multiple streams of income. I must apologize that the previous episode ended rather abruptly. I thought it was getting too long. What do you think? Give me a comment. By creating multiple streams of income, we started looking at five very important words from the book of beginnings, Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 28. It says, "And God blessed Mr. and Mrs. Adam and said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion." Now, of course, literally speaking, be fruitful and multiply means go and have babies. Go and have plenty of them. And that's why this world now is filled with 7 billion people. Because Mr. and Mrs. Adam had the blessing of multiplication. But I don't want to talk about babies today, because that's a principle. And we can take that same principle and apply it to business, creating multiple streams of income. And I remember I said that to be fruitful means to be productive, to have a product or a service. Otherwise, what are you going to be selling? So you need to come up with a product, and that product must have value. Because if income must come in your direction, there must be some exchange of value going on. Now, I want to give examples and illustrations of what happens, especially back home here in Zambia. Let's say you are a farmer, and you're a farmer, a small-scale farmer. Maybe you grow maize or groundnuts, and you've done your maize, or you've done your groundnuts, let's say groundnuts, and harvested, say, I don't know, 50 bags, 100 bags. Here's what usually happens to farmers. You put your groundnuts in your 50 kg bags. How much does a 50 kg bag cost? How much is it going to give you back when you sell it to the Food Reserve Agency or some companies, people who are buying? I don't know, maybe 150 or 200 kwacha, 300, whatever. So if you've got 50 kgs, 50 bags of 50 kgs, and each costing 200, how much are you going to realize? 10,000 kwacha? And when a farmer makes his 10,000 kwacha or 20,000 kwacha or whatever it is, because he has not had that money for a long time, he becomes excited. But guess what? That is one-time income. The next he's going to have that kind of money is when he sells bags again. That is not a stream of income. If you want to create a stream of income from that, you need to find a way of creating value. And what do I mean by that? Let's take an example of you take one bag of groundnuts, 150 kg bag. If you sell it the way it is, you're going to make 200 kwacha. Let's say you take the groundnuts and fry them and repackage them in small packages, and then sell the packages. How much do you think you're going to realize? How many packages are you going to make from a 50 kg bag? I bet you're going to make more than 200. kwacha from that bag. You're probably going to make over 1,000 kwacha from one bag, because you have created value. Just by frying groundnuts and packaging them. Value is processing the stuff that you dig out of the ground, processing your raw material into something. And it, sometimes it doesn't even take so much to process what you have. Like the example that I've just given you. And packaging, you have to do it professionally. These days you can go to Fiverr.com and have a professionally done package for you, and then come up with a brand. Don't sell your packages in unbranded packs, or packs with nothing, no label, no brand. Create a brand. Create a brand and begin to distribute. And these days we've got malls popping up like popcorn everywhere. The biggest problem that we have in this country, and our farmers and the malls, the shopping malls or the shopping places, is that when a farmer distributes his product, let's say you are distributing your groundnuts, you get into a contract with a shop, like ShopRite. We have a shop called ShopRite, or Pick and Pay. You get into a contract and you agree and say you're going to be supplying this amount of groundnuts on a weekly basis. What happens is, once you've run out of your stock from your farm, then you no longer are a supplier. ShopRite is waiting for your products, for your materials, and you are nowhere to be seen. And so they begin to import the products again from out of the country, and they cannot rely on you anymore. Welcome back. I like to go through the 5 important words that we dug up from the book of beginnings. Be fruitful. Already covered that. Come up with a product or a service or something that you can be selling. If you're going to have to create a stream of income, you need a business, and every business must have a product or a service. So be fruitful means come up with that product or that service. Multiply. What's the whole essence of multiply? Multiplication is a concept by which every business thrives. Have you ever seen a Toyota Corolla before? Trust me, there are millions of other Toyota Corollas, just like the one that you saw, all over the world. Toyota, the company that made the Corolla, have mastered the concept of multiplication. And the reason for multiplying your product is so that you can satisfy your market with your product. You do not want to run out of your product. So need to come up with a strategy to multiply your product or your service to satisfy your market. To replenish. The word replenish means to fill. It also means to refill or to satisfy. In other words, you need to have some kind of a strategically created distribution network for your product. You don't have to be a farmer, for instance. You don't have to be a farmer of groundnuts to sell groundnuts. you don't have to be a farmer of rice to sell rice, but you can create value. Even as a farmer, if you have created a contract with one of these shops that we've already talked about, your raw materials should not only come from your farm. If you run out of raw materials from your farm, go and buy from other farmers and repackage. What is important is to sell and promote your brand. That is very, very critical. It's very important in business. If you want to sustain your stream, promote your brand and do proper packaging. The word subdue means to conquer and control. You cannot conquer and control your market if you do not have the concept of multiplication, if you do not have a distribution network, if you do not have a product. You are expected to conquer and control your market with your product. Then you will have dominion. So those are the 5 important words that are very key for every business, that are very key for every stream of income that you wish to create. Now let me give you some examples, some more examples of how you can create a stream of income. Now I've come across a lot of young, able-bodied men who are sitting at home with no income, sitting at home wondering what to do. It's amazing that an able-bodied man, an able-bodied woman would sit at home and have a fridge and a stove, and yet still be broke. Doesn't know how to use a fridge, doesn't know how to use a stove to generate even the smallest amount of income to support your family. It's amazing. You see, the problem we have, most of us, is that we are all looking for white-collar jobs. You want to wake up every day at 06 in the morning and go and sit behind a desk and have a computer in front of you. And that's what you call a job. Everybody's looking for that. I think we need to begin to nurture a spirit of creativity within ourselves so that we can start doing other things that are beneficial for us. Don't have a mindset that is just in one direction. Don't focus on one thing. Don't look on one thing. What is important, like I said, is sit down, come up with a product. Sometimes you need to learn to take a think week, what I call a think week. Just take a week off and think about what product you can come up with. Don't worry, it's not a crime to think. Just think. Somebody finds you not doing anything, just thinking, tell them I'm thinking. That's why you got a brain, is to think. Think of what product you can come up with. When you engage your brains to think, you will come up with something. You will come up with a product. A business is simply sorting out a problem that a community is going through. Look at what problems are in your community and see what product you can create. Do you realize, for instance, that a lot of people like eating rice, Nakonde rice, Mongo rice? What stops you from driving down to Nakonde? How much does it cost to jump on a bus and go to Nakonde and buy a 50 kg bag of rice or a 100 kg bag of rice and then bring it back home and begin to repackage. I told you what's important is coming up with a professionally done package, coming up with your brand. Very important. If your name is Brian, you can call your brand Brian's Special Rice from Nakonde, or Brian's Special Nakonde Rice, Brian's Special Mongo Rice, and begin to promote that brand. And each time you are traveling to Nakonde, before long, people are going to know about that brand. It's the same rice, the same product, but your packaging is special. Your brand is special. You're promoting a brand. It doesn't matter you are selling the same rice that everybody else eats. And before long, you will create a stream of income. You won't even be involved in the distribution, because now you will create a job for people. You become an employer. What is key, like I said, is coming up with a primary source of income. You need a primary source of income. If you do not have any primary source of income, do whatever it takes to come up with a primary source of income, because this is critical for your family. This is critical for you. This is critical. It's important. Let me give you an example of myself on a product that I created years ago. I think it was 2007. My background is software, and I developed a software system for an insurance company. And that software is still being used today, 2017. So when I created that product, I knew that was a stream of income that was going to be coming towards me on a quarterly basis through licensing. So as long as they use the software, they pay for the licenses. So one day I sat down and started thinking. I thought, how can I create another stream of income from the same product? And like I keep saying, to create a stream from the same product, all you need to know is how, or ask yourself, how can I create value, extra value on the same product? What I noticed is that my client, every month they were printing statements for their clients, and this was a huge stationery cost for them. So what I decided to do was come up with another product, another software. This one was web-based, and we sat down with them, and I gave them a suggestion and a proposal, and I said, what if all your clients could subscribe to this software, and instead of you printing statements every month, they can download the statements. So we'll link this website to the software. And we did that. And guess what? That created another stream of income for me. Just by adding value, created another stream of income for me. And then I noticed again that a lot of people were coming to this website. You know, this is a website about their money. They're looking for statements. They want to know how much their money is growing. You know, where your money is, that's where your heart is. So I noticed there was so much traffic on this website. I thought, let me create value on this website. So I created a component called a blog on this same website, where I would post articles. So instead of people just coming to look at their statements, they would linger a bit on the website and read articles. And these were interesting articles. And that created traffic, not just from these people, but from other people who were interested in the article. And I know that when you have a website that has a lot of traffic, you can begin hosting what are called Google Ads. Google, their money comes from adverts, hosting adverts from different companies and different people. And if you begin to host their adverts on your website, they will pay you a commission of everything they make from those adverts from other people. So I started doing that. And guess what? That created another stream from that same one product. And of course, the money from Google is not much. Sometimes it's only $50. Excuse me. Sometimes it's $100, $150. But remember, it is consistent and continuous, and therefore it's a stream. And some streams are large, some streams are small. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is find a way of creating value from your product. If you don't have a product, first create a product. Have a think week and think of what product you can create, and then begin to add value in that product. The example about groundnuts. How many other products can you make from groundnuts? It's not just frying them. You can make peanut butter. You can make oil. And of course, some other products might be a little more costly in terms of production. But if you can do it, even the payoff is that big. So create value in your products, and you will have a stream of income. So I hope you have picked up something, you have learned one or two things from this series of creating multiple streams of income. And I'd like to thank you so much for staying with me on Driving with Friday this far. Please comment and let me know if this is helping you, and let's interact. Thank you very much.